With less than 2 weeks to the elections, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission says it is all systems go. The election body says it is ready to hold the elections and has all the necessary instruments in place for a successful exercise. Now, yesterday, the election body confirmed that the second batch of ballot papers had arrived in the country. Now, in a press briefing this morning, IEBC said they have 240,000 polling clerks who will be stationed across the country. This is in addition to 1,000 IEBC staff who will also be deployed to various centers during the elections to assist the clerks. Security, which is a crucial element of a peaceful election, has also been stepped up. According to the IEBC, 90,000 police officers have been deployed to the over 30,000 polling stations to oversee the polls. This is in addition to the election observers who have already started arriving in the country. And to further discuss this issue, I'm now joined in studio by Peter Okoth Alingo. He is the Executive Director of the Institute for Education in Democracy, and he'll also be part of something which we're calling the PVT. He'll be telling us what that is shortly. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, thank you.
All right, so the IEBC is saying, look, we're ready. Do you believe this?
Yes, I believe them because I've seen this, I've been part of this, I've been part of the preparations that the IEBC has been making as part of the observation process that we've been doing long term.
Yeah.
And therefore we believe the IEBC when they say they are ready, and we want to encourage them to be in fact extremely very ready, because citizens are also ready and we observers are equally ready.
Okay, how do you make them very ready, more ready?
Yes, well, yes, we have to just urge them to move on, because this is a national exercise. It is a very important exercise, and we don't want to create room for anything. And therefore readiness, it means readiness. It's like getting ready for war. You know, we must get ready for it and deploy what we need and get the tools out there, the machinery, the personnel, everything that we need to get this thing going properly.
Okay,
yes.
We'll be talking about those deployments in just a few minutes, but I know you're part of something which we're calling the PVT, the Parallel Voting Tally. Tell us briefly, what is it about, how did it come about, and why does it need to be there?
Yes, just want to say it's called the Parallel Vote Tabulation.
Tabulation.
Yes,
right,
tabulation, okay. PVT, that is exactly what it is. This is what the Election Observation Group, which I'm part of, ELOG as you know it, and this is a platform for domestic observers made up of organizations here, civil society, faith-based organizations who are formed together as a permanent platform to observe these elections. Now, they will be doing quite a number of things, and already we've been doing some of it. The long-term observation that we've been doing for the last 1 year or so.
Right.
Then on election day, we will then do what we call general observation, but that is what we will complement with this thing called Parallel Vote Tabulation, PVT. Now, PVT simply is a methodology, you know, a technique that is used in election observation, a technique that allows observers, you know, in real time to assess systematically, and the word is systematically assess the process on election day, the quality of that process, and speak to it in real time, but also be able to verify accurately the outcome and the results.
How are you going to verify
now
the results? Because this is where the controversy normally comes in.
This is how it will happen. Now, in what we do under parallel vote tabulation, this methodology or technique, it allows us to do a projection of the results, so that within a margin of error that we will work with, we can, for in definite terms, tell Kenyans that the election results will fall within this margin. Now, this is how it will work. We have, you know, professionally well-trained observers that we have thoroughly trained, and these ones will be deployed to polling stations. What we have done is to sample polling stations. We've done random sampling of polling stations. Out of the 33, we've randomly sampled some of them, ensuring that we remain representative of the entire country.
Right.
So we will post or deploy observers, these well-trained observers, to those sampled polling stations, and we will equip them with tools. That is to say, checklists that will enable them collect information, but also a mobile phone set that will enable them to text messages periodically to us, so that at the end of the day, during the day, they will text messages based on the checklist that they will have, so that this is used to, in real time, periodically assess how the process is going on. And we'll speak to Kenyans. At the end of the day, they will then collect the provisional results that will be announced there. So those results will be transmitted to a database that we have now in Nairobi, and we'll analyze that very carefully, and on the basis of that, do a projection that will enable us, within a margin of error, to tell Kenyans confidently that this is where the results will fall.
Do you think Kenya is ready for that? Because some people might argue that, look, this is going to be premature. It might cause a lot of heated debate, especially if the IEBC has not announced their official results.
No, this is something which is done in consultation with the IEBC, and it is legal. There is nothing illegal about it.
We're not questioning the legality. We're asking if Kenyans are ready for that.
Look, I mean, Kenyans need something like this. This is what they need. It is what they lacked in 2007. You know, 2007, as you know, Kenyans didn't have the confidence in the election results, and therefore went to the streets. And they also didn't have confidence in the courts. We are telling them that we are providing an alternative that can help them to verify the accuracy of those results.
Right.
In very accurate and precise terms, we will tell Kenyans that, look, don't worry. We've watched this process for you. We are professionals. We've done this work very well, and we can do it, and we've done it, and this is what the results look like. And we will consult with the IEBC on a frequent, constantly, so that we know when to release our data, our results, our findings, our projections.
Okay. With regard to you being an observer, obviously a member of ELOG, there have been a lot of talk about observers, especially international ones, being said or being accused of being partisan. I'm not sure what your response to this is, and now that you're saying you're going to have provisional results.
My response to this is that it is unfortunate that these kind of accusations are being, swung, being floated, right, left, and center. I think one thing which people ought to understand is that observers or monitors are professional people. They do their work professionally. They are guided by a set of ethics and a code of conduct that they must abide by and comply with, which they sign. They also sign a code of conduct that is given by the IEBC. So law requires that observers undertake their work objectively, professionally, in a non-partisan manner, and in an impartial manner. That word is difficult, but that is it. So observers therefore know what they do, they know how they do it, they know why they do it, and therefore they are not people who will take sides. And that is not just about international observers. It's also about domestic observers as ourselves. International observers are guided by the Declaration of Principles for International Observation. Domestic observers like ourselves are also guided by a Declaration of Global Principles for domestic non-partisan observers. So there is a set of principles, a set of guidelines, a set of code of conduct, a clear set of ethics that we as observers abide by and comply by, and we do our work with utmost objectivity and accuracy, and that is what we do.
All right. Peter Okoth, the Executive Director of IED, or Institute for Education in Democracy, also a member of ELOG, and now he tells us that they're going to have something which they're calling the PVT, the Parallel Vote Tabulation, which for the first time is going to give Kenyans what we're calling a projection of where the election is likely to fall, who is likely to emerge winner in this election. So I'm sure we'll be interrogating this issue a lot more in the coming days, and obviously in our subsequent bulletins, so do stay tuned and keep an eye out for that story.